What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my TikTok. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Now, this video is me responding to multiple comments in the comment section asking for the list of descendants of Atlantis. Okay, here we go. The firstborn was Atlas. His twin brother name was Eumelus. I just want to pause right here because Eumelus, his twin brother, is some very interesting details about him that I'm going to later expand upon, but here's the other set of descendants. The second set of twins, their names were Amphiris and Evenmon. The third pair of twins, the names were Nissus, who's the eldest, and Autochthon, who followed after him. Now, the fourth pair of twins, the eldest name was Elasippus, and the youngest Mester. The fifth pair of twins, the oldest name was Azaz, and Diarprepes followed after him. It goes on to say, all these and their descendants were the inhabitants and rulers of diverse islands in the open sea. Now, if you guys want to screenshot this, I actually wrote down the names in order of which they were born, just so you guys can have it. Now, I want to go talk about Atlas' twin brother, Eumelus. It says that Eumelus had a country that was named after him, named Gaderns, or the Gades. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because it mentions how Atlantis was split up into 10 portions and given out to each male child individually. And it says Eumelus controlled the lower extremity of Atlantis Island toward the Pillars of Hercules. As you can see up top, research shows that the modern day Gades would be the modern day Cadiz, Spain. So I'm connecting the dots here. If Cadiz, Spain is the lower extremity of Atlantis that Eumelus controlled, wouldn't that mean that Spain is a piece of an island that broke off from the main part of Atlantis, y'all? I know y'all see that connection, right? I know y'all see it. Now, this will also go back to my video I did a few days ago about Azores also being a broken piece of Atlantis Island and how it's still here today. I'm gonna go back to where it says that the region of the Gades refers to the ancient Phoenician and Roman city of the Gades. Now, what do you guys think about when you think or hear the word Roman? I hope you think about the new world that was built through Noah and his 3 sons. Remember, Japheth controlled all of Europe. Ham received Africa, but it was later forfeited to his 2 brothers because he was cursed. And then we have Shem, and the island of Asia Major was given to him. Now remember, the Most High said he would enlarge Japheth, which is why I believe he got the biggest piece of lands. Now brace yourself for my next theory. I believe Atlantis is the Garden of Eden. And I, for some reason, may not believe that the entire earth was covered in water. Now, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. As I get deeper into my reading, it mentions something very interesting. It says how Atlantis was visited by convulsions of volcanic activity. They erupted, which caused the island to explode and for it to sink under the water. Hold that thought. The book also goes on to say there are many countries that share the same parallel. One would be Iceland, and they have an actual account of what happened on that island when it was visited by volcanic convulsions and then distributed throughout the sea. It basically says a loud explosion was heard, the earth shook, it mixed columns of hot water and boiling mud mixed with burning brimstone, ashes, were projected from the mountain like a water spout. It goes on to say it only took 5 hours and only rain fell in torrents and the rivers densely charged with mud deluged the country far and wide. Now, with that, it also says that Great Britain was also submerged underwater. It says Great Britain was submerged to the depth of at least 1,700 feet. Also a story about how Ireland also has evidence that it was underwater. Now, this is their research. They said they confirmed these things. Now, with all that being said, and us now connecting Atlas brother Eumelus to Spain, which is just what? A broken piece of Atlantis, can we concur that all of these islands, Ireland, Spain, all of the lands of Noah's 3 sons were just broken pieces of Atlantis? And here's another connection. Remember a while back, kind of when I first started TikTok, I mentioned how Christopher Columbus had a hard time sailing the fourth part, which would be our region, because Atlantic Ocean is very treacherous. It's not a very easy ocean to cross. Well, guess what, y'all? I figured out why. Now, according to these scientists' research, Atlantis is underneath the Atlantic Ocean, which causes like quicksand, muddy type of terrain, which causes sailors' boats to become stuck in the middle of the ocean. It says right here, Atlantis disappeared beneath the sea, and then that sea became inaccessible on account of the quantity of mud which engulfed the island and left in its place. Okay, now here's my last bomb that I'm about to drop. Now put your Marshes in the comment section if you're still with me. There's a lot of information, so I have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. But here we go. Now, in this book, it says the deluge of the Bible, which will be the flood, only killed the land and the people of Noah. It could not have been universal. Now, a few months ago, my husband told me a story of a friend of his who is, I believe, Cambodian. Don't quote me. But nevertheless, he asked him about the flood, and he told him that in his family, they never had any stories of a flood. Now, he told me this story well before I got into this book about Atlantis or any of this. When he told me that, I was, of course, like everybody else, like, come on, man, that can't be true. Like, what do you mean? But now, as I'm reading more, I'm starting to understand that Atlantis just broke off and created the fourth part. Noah's world was Atlantis. So, yes, his world went underwater. Even in this book, they say that there can't be two Garden of Edens. They even say how the Atlantis story parallels with the Garden of Eden story. This book also talks about how all of these lands were at once submerged at one point and then reappeared. So these lands just sunk and then came back up over time, you guys. And now we have America, Africa, Ireland, Spain, London. We have a piece of Atlantis all on the fourth part, which is, I might add, the same fourth part that Christopher Columbus and all his buddies was trying to find because they heard of a great land that possessed gold, shock and awe. It was the land of milk and honey. Now, what was the land of milk and honey, y'all? Atlantis was the land of milk and honey, but again, it had broke up, and America is a piece of Atlantis. Now, if you guys want me to do a video on why Atlantis fell, then I'll do that in my next video. Just put it in the comment section. Now, you guys chew on this bone for a while. I want you guys to really think about the information I'm putting out, because other people, and you know what I mean, y'all, Martians, other people can interpret these books. They can interpret these texts because it's not through their bloodline. It's in my blood. It's in the Atlanteans' blood that are indigenous to these lands. That's why we can interpret these scriptures. Now, anyways, that's all I got for you guys tonight. I know this is a long one, but I'm telling you, it's a good one. Don't forget to like this video, save this video, share this video with your friends, with your family. The truth must get out there. And I'll see you guys in the next video.